Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hey, hard-coded. Happy Tuesday indeed. It's a Ludum Dare week, y'all. Let's check in. See what's going on right now in Ludum Dare land. Are we at a new round of, Ooh, we are. Next round of theme voting today. Let's start with this. Why not? Let's start with a bit of theme voting. Start the day off here. Pretending to work. There we go. You're sprinting on Spud Customs. You wish you were free for a jam. Fair. Yeah, luckily I have no imminent deadlines, so I can just not get anything done. I know. We did round 1 yesterday or something. Round 2 will probably be up for the next couple of days. Probably see the final round around maybe Thursday or something. Let's see. Do we like any of these? Don't let it out of your sight. I think that's fine. It would probably make a very particular kind of game. But it could be fun. Why does cartography always end up on here? Oh, folklore. We have to vote folklore. That's the meme. That's the meme theme. Hard-coded, you already released and then gave keys to 150 streamers last week and was like, yeah, update will be ready, just hang on. Oof. Cartography nerds. I know, cartography always ends up here too. I think there's a cool game somewhere in cartography, but I don't know. Keep it together. These seem fun. I like more descriptive themes myself. So like keep it together, don't trust what you see, don't let it out of your sight. Stuff that you can like chew on. Bottomless seems kind of fun, maybe. A lot of these I don't like. I don't like one-word themes. I don't like decay. I don't like waves. Salvage, I could see salvage. Reflection, yeah, maybe. Out of order could be funny.
Maximum
Journey, no. Hey, no jewel, maximum work. Maximum warp, that is. We're pretending to work. We're actually Thish theme voting for Ludum Dare. Spud Customs was a one-button game jam game? Really? That's awesome. I didn't realize that. You're curious about waves, but very restrictive. Yeah, keep it together seems fun. Maximum work is on your to-do list. Yeah. Yeah, that is it. Use it or lose it. Huh. I'm not sure about that one. Send signals. Maintenance? Yeah, I don't like one-word themes, honestly. Like ancient? Like what is that? What kind of that's not a great theme. Alchemy. Wasn't that like the Pirate Software Jam theme recently? I think that one's fun. Companion could be cool. Companion could be like maybe you're not the main character. Maybe you're just like, yeah, that could be fun. Out of Order seems kind of funny. I don't know what I would do for Out of Order, but I feel like that would be a good humor theme. It's changed a lot. Still all controlled by left mouse click. I mean, that's all you need. That's all you need. What I need to do this week is I need to finish the remastered version of my last Ludum Dare game and put it up on itch. All I really need to do, I mean, technically what I need to do is make a whole tutorial, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to record some more music and put it out there. You remember having Alchemy 2? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the last pirate. Tutorials are essential. Well, I'm not putting one in a following wind. Because I can't be bothered. And I just want it up. It'll have the same tutorial that the original version had. It'll have like a paragraph on the itch page. You finally added a dedicated tutorial. Shift 0 training day. That's good. That's fair. Tutorial came in 1.0.2 of Spud Customs. Lol. Yeah, that is lol. I'm better at doing tutorials now. Like my last jam game had like a little tutorial. It was just a series of screens that you had to pass through, but it was at least something. So, but A Following Wind is a one scene game. It's like a single scene, single screen game. So there's like nothing. There's nothing to it. It is slow though. So I've tested it with A Following Wind. Oh, I'm hitting the limit. I just peaked out here. Do I not have any of my filters on? No, it says my limiter's on. Okay, that was weird. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. It said I was peaking just now. But yeah. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. Hard-coded, you did screenshots of the game with a little narrator explaining each step. You used a brightness contrast filter with the thing you wanted to emphasize selected, so it makes almost a spotlight effect in paint. Nice. Yeah, that helps for sure. Yeah, we're doing better at it, but... oh yeah, what I was gonna say is I tested A Following Wind with the current balance, and you can survive that game for almost 2 minutes with not inputting a single command. So like I feel like I give enough breathing room at the beginning of that game, where not having a tutorial isn't that bad. Like you have room to experiment. But yeah, if I cared more, I would do a tutorial for it. We're definitely going to do a tutorial for... There's a few things I really learned about Ludum Dare for next time. One of them is having like a cute game icon. It's like our last one was... No, not my game. I wanted to go to my games, plural. Yeah, this is like not cute. You need like a super cute game box art for something like this, or people are just not going to play it. I got lucky in that, well, not lucky. I worked in that I streamed playing people's Ludum Dare games for like a whole week after Ludum Dare 55, and so like 100 people played my game, which I learned was not that good. Hard-coded, you kill all your players. You dropped an example of your tutorial in post your work for later. Nice, nice. I'll check it out. Yeah. I think this year I'm gonna not focus as much on playing other people's games. I mean, I'm gonna do it, but like once you hit that 20 something people played your game, you really don't get any benefit of having more people play your game. So I don't think I'm gonna work so hard next week. We'll probably have like 1 or 2 days of playing jam games, just because it's fun. But we're not gonna do it for like a whole week like last time. We will be doing marathon streams so like now that you know how to do a quick and dirty version, you would add a screenshot tutorial to all your games. Yeah, that's what I did for my last jam game, is it was just a screenshot tutorial, and that's also probably what I'm going to do going forward for a jam game, unless I can, you know, actually make my code templates work for me. But yeah, we're going to have an interesting week. I'm going to kind of bring it up the calendar a little bit here. So Ludum Dare starts at 6 p.m. my time on Friday. So we'll probably stream starting like a couple hours, like 2 or 3 hours, like a couple hours before the jam officially starts. Do some brainstorming and some prep. We'll probably stream for like 5 or 6 hours that first night on Friday. We'll probably do and then we'll probably do a couple marathon streams on Saturday and Sunday to get through it. It's going to be busy. So today is probably going to be, actually probably every day this week is probably going to be shorter streams, just because we are going to do a huge weekend marathon. I'm excited. I'm excited to do another Ludum Dare. Last year's Ludum Dare was like big. It was a big growth opportunity for the channel. It's how we got affiliate like the day before Ludum Dare started, so we'll probably see our affiliate-versary this week. There's a couple little surprises I hope to have ready for that. We'll see. You can't wait to see what I come up with. I have no idea what I'm going to come up with. I'm a little worried about like since it's my second one, I'm like really worried that I'm going to either overscope or I'm going to do something. I'm going to make some horrible mistake. But I'm going to try to be really, really conservative and smart about this one, because we kind of got a pass last our last jam, which was the solo dev jam, because we were allowed to use art assets in sound. Like, we were allowed to use asset packs in mini delivery, so all we had to do was worry about the programming and the design. But Ludum Dare is a different beast. Ludum Dare is like everything from scratch, except you can bring some code in, some pre-existing code, which I have. I have a standard template. I call it Digital Iliad Standardized Code, or DISC. And I have not worked on this at all, so we might actually work on this a little this week. Maybe we'll do one or two Ludum Dare prep streams. Maybe we work on standardized code, because that way we could at least have a template for what you're talking about, things like a tutorial, even just a basic UI framework. We could have some of this stuff in standardized code, and then we don't have to worry about it. AKA DISC. I think I said that, but that's my funny thing. Digital Iliad Standardized Code. You gotta hit the DISC sometimes. Hard-coded, you sponsor Mac over on GitHub? No way. I met Mac, like, in person during GDC. They came to the Godot meetup at Noisebridge and actually demoed their tutorial framework. That's awesome. Underscope and get something playable ASAP. Yeah, you had never used Godot in your first game jam. Yeah, me either. Not really. A Following Wind was both my first game jam game and my first Godot game. Oh, you're one of their corporate sponsors? That's awesome. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool thing. They seem much more rigorous about it, because they do the Wild Jam. They do Wild Jam every month or something like that. So I think they've had a lot more opportunity to work on their template than we have. We think about it a couple of months a year, and that's it. We don't really think about it very often. I don't think about my code template very often. You think the top game on their GitHub? It's pressure to make Spud Customs look better ASAP. Oh yeah, if you're up there. Rhiannon, are you going to use GDScript or C# for the jam? GDScript probably. The only reason there is really no C# in my standardized code template, because if you're working quickly, I don't think you want to try to set up the whole .NET thing. Or at least the way I use .NET with Godot is kind of weird and different, because I use it as kind of this separate thing. I don't really want to use C# for a regular game in Godot. I don't want to use it as like my main scripting language. I want to just use GDScript pretty much, because it's node-based. It's like going to be simple. It's going to be easy. I think about using C# very differently for my project for Digital Iliad. Who's in your team or solo? I'm going to be doing compo, no Joel. I did the compo last year and I liked it. I've only really done solo game jams. I keep having people being like, let's do a team jam. And like, I should, as I'm getting more comfortable in Godot, I should try to do some more team jams. But I don't know, I'm kind of just a solo. Hard-coded, you hate making menus, so you bribe Mac to let you ignore menus. That's funny. Yeah, I think that's going to be a big reason if we manage to use the standardized code here. That's going to be a big reason for it. Hard-coded, you love team jams? Yeah, not me. I mean, I have a day job where I work in a team and I do a lot of stuff, but even my day job, I'm like very siloed and I kind of just get to work by myself all day. It's just kind of my preference. All right, so what are we doing today? I have an idea. We're going to just work on the main game today, and we'll see what we do tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday should at least be a Ludum Dare prep day. But the next couple days, I think I want to just work on my game. I want to avoid... That's a big mistake I want to avoid from my last Ludum Dare. Because, I mean, it's nice that I have this remastered, shiny version of my first Game Jam game. But I worked on that for like 2 months after the game jam. I lost 2 months of productivity working on this game jam game, post-jam version. For not much, just so I could put up a remastered version on itch. Like, I thought it had longer legs and it would have been a more useful project to work on, but it turned out to not be the case, so we're going to avoid doing that with Ludum Dare. We're just going to make our thing. We're going to try to avoid being in a position where we need to update it much after the fact, which is what I was able to achieve with mini delivery, so I think it's doable. Because, like, mini delivery, the only thing I did after the jam, after the solo jam, was I added controller support, and that was enough. All right, so what are we working on today? Hard-coded. You like your jam team? Big difference from day job. For sure. All right, so I had an idea. So I had this idea where, you know, we have these dotted line bounding boxes to like help let us know stuff. But they're weird because as we go multiple levels, they're just these flat sheets. And you get this stack of flat sheets, and I realize I don't actually want that. What I want is I want a dotted line thing, but I want it to be like the tile map. I want it to be like a solid block. So if you like look at this, let me just try to draw it. I want it to look like this. So like this cube has this black outline. What if this was an empty cube and the outline was the dotted lines? So like I want to be able to render a volume like that. I want to be able to draw out the cubic volume and not do what I'm currently doing with the outlines, which is like a series of flat sheets, which is like really disorienting and confusing. So we're switching to that, which on paper isn't that hard because we're just going to be using the auto tiler to render this stuff. So like on paper, that should be easy. I messed around with it last night, and in actuality, it's going to be a little tricky because the auto tiler isn't really built to do that. But we're going to set it up today and probably tomorrow so that we can have these dotted outline stuff looking good, looking like a volume, and not like this series of flat sheets. And this way we'll be able to use the line work for selection boxes, for used rects, for the mouse hover thing. We're going to use this for a lot of stuff. So it's going to be good to have that in good shape, I think. So that's what I want to work on today. What I did last night to prepare for this was try to come up with a tile sheet, a tile set that will work. And I think I did. I think I did come up with a tile set that's acceptable. It's modeled after our regular tile set, our regular hull tile set, and it's got solid lines and dotted lines. I actually need to finish setting it up because I only set up the solid lines. This auto tiler is only going to have 3 layers. It's going to have a bottom, a mid, and a top. So it actually needs it's actually going to have 3 layers. It's going to have X, Y, and Z. So unlike our regular tile set, we don't need to distinguish between floors and walls, floor pieces and wall pieces. We can distinguish between whole blocks. So it's like this third one. This is a whole block, which is a combination of a wall and a floor. So our dotted outline is going to work on the block level. So at least we don't need 6 tile map layers to make it happen. We only need 3. So I started setting up this tile set last night. I'm going to finish it up here. Let's see, what are your offsets? -8, texture rendering origin. So we'll go to dotted bot. We'll set these all up. It'll be interesting to see how easily we can roll this into the auto tiler. Hard-coded, you just added a highlighting shader. You think you understand shaders less after finishing it though? Yeah, shaders are rough. I have an outline shader for our characters, for the crew. And yeah, I wrote that over a year ago and I couldn't tell you how it works. So let's just hope I never have to change it, right? All right, so we select these. We make the texture origin -8. Because that's what we have here, right? Yep. Okay, then we go to this one. So this one is 28, or what is this? Oh, it's a margin of 28y, a separation of 1y, and a texture region of 16 by 36. Okay. So 28, 1, 16, 36. And then we pick these. Okay. Oops. I guess technically I don't need to make the dotted ones separate from the solid ones. I could have made them the same source ID, but I think it's easier to just think about them as lines and not concern yourself whether they're solid lines or dotted lines, except by just referencing a different ID. Okay, and then what is the texture origin? -8, 6. -8 and 6. I forgot something. We need to do the alternative tiles. I forgot about that. All right. (0.24). When I was setting this up, when I was like thinking about how this is gonna work, I ended up looking at how the other tile map works, how like the regular hull tile map works, and I feel like the way I lay out these tile sets needs to change. I'm not changing it now. I've decided for this case, I'm just gonna make it work exactly the same as the other one, because that way when we change it in the future, it'll be very easy to change. Change it the same way. So since you're -8 and 6, the alternative version of you is gonna be +8 and 6, I'm pretty sure. So let's start making alternative tiles. 8, 6. Making alternative tiles is really tedious. Oh, I also need to remember to flip them, or there's like no reason. So we're making the Y faces this way, just using alternative tiles. I don't know if I really want to do it this way in the long run. It's kind of more tedious. But otherwise we wouldn't actually be using alternative tiles at all. And that seems like leaving some functionality on the table, so I don't know. So let's just keep going. Alternative tile. Where'd it go? Oh, it's here. Flip H. 8, 6. Knock these out real quick here. How's everyone else doing today? It's really nice out here in San Francisco. Getting a real nice spring. I should be more excited about Ludum Dare. I should be like excited to the point of being like deeply nervous, but I'm like too tired. Which I think is going to be good. I think we'll get to it and it'll just be fine. I think we have enough experience now. We'll be okay. It's going to be interesting. I'm very excited to do some art. Do some art and do some sound. Kind of just work on everything. Because when you're working on a big project like this, you work on the same thing for weeks or months. And you get very little variety in what you're doing sometimes. And that's like my favorite thing about a game jam is just seeing... You go through the whole process from conceiving of the game to producing the game to releasing the game. You go through the whole cycle in just like a few days. It's very nice. Very exciting. I don't love the way it does just straight up doesn't sort these. Super confusing. Okay, well that's that for that. Now I have to do the same thing here. Can I do it? Can I do it to all of these at the same time and I'm just an idiot? Can I make all of these alternative tiles simultaneously? Or do I not do that here? Oh yeah, I do that here. Can I just click once, shift, and then grab them all? Yes, I can. So I got them all. Can I make a bunch of I can make them all at once. Can I flip them all? Oh, hell yeah. All right. All right, that was easy. I made that way harder than it needed to be. All right, so I think the tile set is ready. We need to do a few different things now, though. We need to build out a grid layer, a series of grid layers. So here we have the grid levels. Game jams should be so worrisome. Worrisome is a word. Yeah. It's weirdly spelled with an I think. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? How's my audio, everyone? I changed my audio filtering setup. I'm using an AI to filter my audio now. It's like Elgato has like a built-in CPU level like AI filter. And it seems like I'm louder than I was before, but I just want to make sure I'm not peaking. Been a little while since you caught the scream. Yeah, no worries. We've been taking it easy. We've been just so busy with work and with GDC that, you know, like last week, we streamed a few days, but we were still really recovering from the week-long, my week-long GDC experience that went from Saturday to Saturday. So we haven't gotten a lot done. Right now we're working on the editor still. We're working on changing our fundamental layout for some of this stuff. So what we need to do here is we need to take the grid level. We need to change the way this works. So a grid level has one grid layer. This needs to have multiple grid layers now. It needs to be like hull levels. So hull levels has one layer. A hull level has 7 layers right now. I could call it a line layer, but I think grid is fine. Rhiannon, I think you are louder, but it sounds fine over here. I'm definitely louder. I can see on the level. Audio sounds great. Yeah, it should be cleaner. It should be cleaner. I did some of my own processing before, and the lesson that I learned is that I'm not as good as an AI is at at editing my audio levels. So I might as well do it. Might as well just let the machine do it. The machine understands how to manage peaking audio and like filtering out background noise and all that stuff. It understands that stuff on a level that I'll never understand it, so why try? All right, so here's something I want to change because the game is like, or Discord is like upset with me. It's like your tile layer, your base tile layer scene from which all other tile layers inherit has a position. It shouldn't have a position because its children are just going to overwrite the position anyway. And I think that's right. Before I had the tile map layer offset because we only were dealing with a statically sized map, but now we're dealing with a dynamically sized. So we need to change the way this works now a little bit. So I think it's reasonable to switch this. There are probably going to be consequences from doing this. We probably have messed up the game a little bit, but we will see. Let's check immediately if we've just ruined everything by doing that. How are you been, Diginanigans? What have you been up to? All right, so far, no problems. Okay, that's because the positions are being overwritten anyways. Okay, cool. Cool. Tight. Yeah, right now we're changing this, the way we draw guiding grids like this to shenanigans. We're changing it to just be a cube instead of this series of flat layers that's like really hard to see. We're changing it to just render a proper cube, just like the auto tiler does when we draw a shape. Because that should be easy. So it'll just look like this cube. It'll just have, instead of black outlines, it'll be dotted outlines, and the cube will be transparent. But otherwise, it'll be exactly the same. So we're trying to lean into the power of the auto tiler to do some like almost debug drawing kind of stuff to like help us draw guidelines. We'll have to change a ton of stuff to make this happen. So this is probably what we're going to be working on this week, but I think that'll be good. It'll remove a lot of the visual clutter because right now this is like way too much visual clutter. All these flat lines, all these diagonal lines here that we've got going. Super noisy. So we're going to try to switch out from that. That's kind of our goal here. But we're just regularly getting distracted by Ludum Dare talk. We did our theme voting this morning. Diginanigans, you're doing pretty good. You took last week off? Nice. You just had a big ice storm on the weekend. Did some pretty big infrastructure damage in your area. Oof. Hope everyone's okay. That's crazy that you're having ice storm stuff. For us, it's like we've been having summer showers, and otherwise it's just been incredibly sunny and beautiful. We're like fully into our good weather arc here. Lots of roads blocked with fallen trees and lines down. People without power for a few days. Still getting restored everywhere. Oof. All right, so next step. So we've got the hull level, and the hull levels consists of multiple hull level. So hull levels here. Okay, so here I'm overwriting the deck layers. They're set to be -16 by -256. So we should set that right for now. So a deck layer. So we want to use, so we have grid level, grid layer. So what we need to set up multiple grid layers. We need to go to this. We need to remove this static drawing here. So we're going to erase this. And we're going to change the tile set associated. So we're about to break a ton of stuff, but it's all good. We're going to switch to the grid tiles.tres, which is our new tile set, which has the solid lines and the dotted lines. Okay. So now when I jump back here, okay, that's not drawn anymore. So we shouldn't see, okay, yeah, we got rid of some of that clutter, some of that visual clutter. But now we have this grid layer, and now we need 3 of them. So we just take this, duplicate it twice, and now we're renaming these. So when we do the hull levels, we say deck layer X, deck layer Y, deck layer Z. So for us, we're going to say grid layer X, grid layer Y, grid layer Z. So we just need 1 grid layer for each face. Glad I structured this the way that I did to be flexible like this. Because we have these parents. We have empty node 2Ds that basically store these hierarchies of layers. So we have we have some arbitrary number of layers per level. And then we have some number of levels per, I don't know, area, not area, volume, space, play space. Right now it's stuck and static, and my music died. Come on, Pretzel. I just paid you a ton of money. There you go. I am still tired. I'm a little concerned that I'm hitting like burnout territory, because I basically haven't stopped for the last few weeks. We did GDC, and then I came back and I was like slammed at my day job, and now that's kind of calmed down now, but now we're immediately going into Ludum Dare, which is going to be a huge undertaking. We're probably going to stream. The plan for Ludum Dare is probably to stream about 24 hours over 3 days. So if it's a 48-hour jam, my hope is to work for 24 of them. So basically spend half of the time during the 3-day jam. It's not 3 days, it's 48 hours, let's be clear. But over 48 hours, it's just awkwardly timed this year, because this year the jam starts at 6 p.m. my time, as far as I can tell. And so that means it also ends at 6 p.m. my time. So in a way that's nice, because Friday I have to work my day job anyway. And so we can start in the evening. And then we'll probably do our big merit. We'll probably only do a short stream on Friday as we get started, do the brainstorming and all that stuff, and like set up our planning. And then we'll have Saturday and Sunday all day to work. Hey, Ryzen. It's Ludum Dare. You know it. You're going to be doing it, right? You got a team. We're talking about Ludum Dare. Underscope hard. Yeah, thanks, hard-coded. That's the goal. Game jams are good for burnout. Yeah, I mean, maybe not the marathon way I do a game jam, but... Yeah, I'm kind of lucky. The day job is quiet for the next 2 weeks, relatively, because I'm waiting on something to happen that isn't supposed to. That I'm like basically waiting on something to change, which isn't going to change until mid-April. But then after that, I'm going to be fucking busy again. So I'm excited. This weekend is Ludum Dare, so we're going to do that the whole time. We're going to go hard, and then the weekend after that, I have a little vacation. I'm going out of town for the weekend. And that'll be really nice. And then I'll come back and I'll just be slammed, and we'll be working hard again. And we'll be working towards our alpha MVP launch. We're going to be fleshing out our roadmap. This is the basic roadmap we drew up following GDC. We'll be following this along. Right now we're just working on the tile block editor. But it's going to be time soon to move on from the tile block editor and actually work on the ship simulation. So that's going to be exciting. Waiting for the operational environment to change. Yeah, basically. What jam? That is 72 hours for teams, 48 if you're doing the compo solo. Yeah, so I have 48. Next weekend's Godot Wild Jam for 7 days. You might do that one as well. Ooh. That sounds like a commitment, Ryson. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ludum Dare is 72 hours for teams. I only ever do the solo compo version, so for me it's 48 hours, which I wouldn't have been able to do the team one anyway, even if I wanted, because that means for my time the team one ends at 6 p.m. on Monday, and I'm like, that's no good for me. But yeah, the shipboard simulation is just people running around, you know, turning systems on, turning them off, watching power go around. Maximum Warp Rhiannon Journey, thank you. And then we'll switch over to making a scenario editor and the 9-box battlefield where ships fight. And other things, but, you know, we're mainly going to know. So I want to have this done in like a year, this alpha MVP. I would like to have this up on itch by like next GDC, by like GDC 26. So we have a couple more. We could probably keep working on the tile block editor for another month or two, but yeah, we need to move on soon. We need to start crunching the rest of these out. Get these going. Get this live. Get this up. Someone smartly suggested that we use the alpha as a Steam demo. Probably would do that too. Maximum warp for ship simulation. Yeah, I can't wait. That'll be good. Having the editor fully fleshed out and functional before going into that is kind of, from a gameplay standpoint, it's risky, but from a production standpoint, it's really good because this block editor is really the thing that determines like the space in which the ship exists. It like really determines all the parameters of it. So I'm glad that we spent a lot of time on it. But yeah, I'm also excited to get to having little dudes running around, pathfinding, little AI routines, little stuff. Power simulation is what I'm excited about because that's kind of an unknown for me. Because we're gonna have power physically routed throughout the ship, like along conduits and stuff, and that's probably our first big departure from like FTL in terms of like mechanics. Is like routing power will actually be part of the game. Not just assigning power to a system, but like keeping the power lines working. And if one goes down, you know, rerouting power, making sure you're not pushing too much power through a given line or whatever. All that good Star Trek stuff. All right, so we've got grid layer X, grid layer Y, grid layer Z. We need to start looking at the scripts. Because like the editor levels... So this is a hull levels script. It has this unpack tile map data function. I need to clean up some of this scripting. Let me look at this. So your hull level 0. Do we need anything here? I think this is all fine. Doesn't look like we need any additional changes at this time. What are you complaining about? Oh, the root node of this is transformed. I don't want. Same with this. Is there a hull layer? There's a deck layer. There's a hull layer. So it's a 3x3 battlefield, but you could do a 3x3x3 27 box battlefield? No, we're not going to have verticality at that level. The verticality is only going to be within the ship. The ship to ship is just going to be a flat 3x3 grid of ships. Yeah, we're not doing a 27 box battlefield. That's insane. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I didn't totally mess this up. It looks like not yet. Actually, maybe I did just mess this up. So this needs to be minus 16 and minus 256. Yeah. And then those can still be 0. Okay. Makes sense since space is a 2D plane. Look, everyone treats space as if it's a 2D plane. And you know, there is a rational reason for doing that, and it's because the galactic plane and the solar plane is like a real thing. Like most things are aligned along some solar or galactic plane. So I think that's fine to do that at a stellar level, but it's gonna be hard enough to think about your ship in 3D. His thinking is two-dimensional. Flat Galactic Plane Society. Yeah, you were just razzing me. No, that's fair. I should be razzed. Razz away. All right, so now we need to actually start making this a little functional. So how are we going to do that? Obviously, the thing we're going to do, we're going to need to change some of these scripts here. Tile levels, hull levels. What is the difference between grid levels and hull levels? So grid levels are modulating right now, but they're actually not going to do that for long. I should be able to revert everyone to just a single tile level script, to this base script. I should be able to get rid of the differences between these two scripts. Let's do that now. So where is this script attached? Is it attached to here or the scene? Okay, it's attached here. So let's remove this script. And then let's just drag this script over. Let's do the same thing to the grids. So this script, we're going to detach this script. I basically added some inheritance here that I actually don't need anymore because I'm treating these as basically the same thing now. So the distinctions here can just go away. So what we should do is have a tile layers array of tile map layers. We'll put that down here. Var tile layers array tile map layer. Okay, so that replaces this. And then in the ready, we're basically going to have this. We don't need the super, we just need this part. So. Level locals, level nodes. I don't know what I use those for, but I do it. So we're going to have one more here. We're going to have this one. You're called tile layers. Level count equals level nodes dot size. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could call this level layers, probably. For child and get children, level nodes dot append. For index and range, level count, level locals dot append. Okay. So we can do this in here. We can say, so this is where we can do the for grandchild thing. Doesn't need to be separate. Actually, let's do the level nodes thing first. Level layers is maybe not the right way to describe this. That would be like array of array. Yeah, whatever, who cares? Sorry if I'm kind of quiet. I'm both tired and also experiencing back pain, which standing does help. The real problem is just not moving. The real problem is just being static all day, every day. It's that really nice lower back pain that's only really gets better if you just like lie down. But walking around helps. Hard-coded, you use tens for that sometimes. Tens, all caps. Is that an acronym? Like little units you can buy off Amazon that zap your back muscles. Oh. Okay, I've never heard of that. I'll look into that. I just try to move around a little bit, and like maybe I use like a heat pad or something if I have to sit down. Luckily, my streaming is standing up. I'm very curious if I'm going to be able to maintain standing for like 8 hours at a time on a stream. Because right now I can't really sit down, but I should maybe mess with my setup and try to make it so I can go back to sit standing. I got closer to the camera and moved the green screen up, which is why I'm like able to stand here like this, like I'm like Adam Learns Everything or something. I really like this approach to the presentation of the stream. Instead of being further back and like a smaller window, because I have a pretty big window here that I can occupy. I kind of like it. Or exercise ball, yeah. Oh yeah, like I'm Primogen, I just gotta be here bouncing. I just gotta bounce all stream. Just like this. It's like I'm really into the music. Slaytan, you know FTL. Awesome. Yeah, we're working on an FTL-like here. Straight bumping, yeah. We're working on kind of an isometric 3D kind of take on FTL. We're kind of doing the 3D chess of FTL. If you're a big Star Trek fan, I'm sure you're familiar with 3D chess. We're doing some, we're ripping out some pieces from our tile set editor or tile map editor. You hope this is either a prototype or incredibly zoomed in. Yes, this is just a style guide for a single bridge scene. This is just to give you the visual idea of the perspective we're talking about. Yeah, this is zoomed in. B, yeah, it's one room. We'd be talking about larger construction. So we've been working on an editor tool to make that happen. We've got some big changes that we've just made to it, so I probably can't run the game at this exact moment, but can I just straight delete this code? Oh, I need to copy this over first. So I need the unpack tile map data function, and I need to put that here. But how's it going? Welcome in. We work on this, we've been working on this for about a year. We pretty much work Tuesday through Saturday each week. Jesus, editor tool. You can't even make your save load work properly. Yeah, we had a save load system for this. We broke it, and we need to fix it again. Yeah, we're doing some weird stuff. We're doing some weird stuff with Godot. We have kind of a separate simulation, like data simulation layer. All right, grid layers. Grid layers, is that? Okay. Level, we'll call this level layers. Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff here. We're kind of arranging this as a very simulation heavy game. So we're in Godot, we're handling the rendering and the UI, but all of the simulation is being handled off in C# in like .NET outside of the scene tree. So we have a very lightweight simulation object. Hold on one second. started pouring rain. We've been having this the last couple of days. It's like cloud bursting or whatever. This is cool. Oh my god. That's awesome. Oh, you've never heard about Adam Learns Everything, Ryson? Yeah, Adam's cool. That all sounds like black magic to you, Slaytown. Maybe you're not made for game dev. No, everyone's made for game dev. I'm not an expert. I'm a generalist. I made this art. This is programmer art. You just do the best that you can with what you've got. I'm not good at anything, but that's okay. That's how you are a generalist. You're just passable at everything. You know, jack of all trades and all that stuff. All right, this seems fine. I should be able to just use this function here. We shouldn't need this anymore. This should be copied over here now. The hull levels. Oh, you both have this function? Oh, then why? Oh, it's because the modulate. Modulating levels is gonna go away. We're not gonna modulate levels the same way that we did before, I don't think. Maybe we will, but we'll do it a little differently. Does tile maps have a modulate? Okay, so we're gonna copy over one of our modulate. We'll probably copy over the grid level for modulate. Probably copy this one over. And just hold on to this in case we need it. But we're not going to use this for right now, I don't think. But yeah, let's get rid of these inheriting scripts here. We don't need them. Oh, I want to delete them, not just close them. I guess I should delete them later. Once I've confirmed that I don't need them. All right, we're in ads. Hard-coded. You're not made for game dev. You just have a vision of potato people oppression that you must realize. Slaytan, you hope they're serious because your next project might actually touch the theme of oppression. I think that's a very topical and timely thing to be going into right now, frankly. We've definitely got some fun themes lined up for. I haven't really gotten to spend a lot of time fleshing out the narrative of this game, but yeah, we've got some stuff. We got some stuff coming up. Close docs. There we go. All right, so now we need to go through here. So who is calling this code? Is it just the input handler? Okay, no, so it's you. Oh, these things were calling this code themselves. That's great. That's easy to clean up. Okay, I think the GDScript side of this is done. I think this works. What we need to do now is we need to really dig into the tile system. So time to bounce over to C# here. Deadly serious, says Heartcoded. I'm sorry, I was trying to do like a monarch. Deadly serious. I can't do a monarch. Oh, monarch. I can't do Dr. Mrs. the Monarch either. I wish I could. I wish I could do voice acting because that was going to come up later. Pretty convincing monarch? Okay. Dr. Mrs. I don't have the baritone range for a Dr. Mrs. the Monarch. But the monarch himself is pretty good. Yeah, hard-coded. Your game is very topical. It's kind of, you read a new headline every day about some of that stuff, and it's pretty horrifying. All right, so here's one problem. Layers. Layers is hard-coded to 7, and levels is hard-coded to 8. So levels being hard-coded to 8 is fine, but the thing is, layers is not... Layers is very dependent on different things. Hard-coding this is a bit of a mistake. Eventually, my dream would be that this code would be the 2 branches here, the branch to do the hull auto tiling and the construction grid auto tiling would be like very similar. But at the moment, it's pretty different. Okay, so if we're going to rewrite some of this code, we should probably address some of the allocation issues we're seeing. Oh, geez, hard-coded. Yeah, it's really bad right now. It's really scary. Like, my partner knows a lot of international students. And, yeah, it's a scary time. All right, so get non-overlapping is allocating. Why? Oh, it's the list.add. There's really no way around this. Because an AABB is a struct. So it's not like it's a class and we can just hold on to this. ToList, add range. Is this where all the allocation is happening? 18.5. 19.1. Okay. This, I don't see a way around this at the moment. And I think that's fine for now. So we're not going to worry too much about that. There's probably a better way to do this eventually, but... All right. Let's clean up this. I can't see anything on here. There we go. Gotta clean up my tabs sometimes, otherwise I just go crazy. Yeah, it's unacceptable. You hope Spud Customs makes enough with 1.0.2 that your donations can be significant. Oh, that's really sweet. Rhiannon, you finally felt comfortable to come out as trans about 4 years ago, and now things just suck. Ugh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's, well, happy Trans Visibility Day yesterday, but, yeah. In general, it's really, it's crazy, because what's really happening is you're just seeing how different, I don't know, the regional differences here in the States are getting kind of wild. I mean, it used to be you would be guaranteed certain rights and protections like across the whole nation. And now it's like it really depends on where you were born, where you grew up, where it's a crazy. There's some crazy places in the States now, but yeah, there's also, it's not like you can ever, for like the immigration stuff, it's not like you can ever get out of reach of the federal authorities. They're federal authorities. So it's like, you know, you can move to a sanctuary city, but that hasn't even helped. Those poor international students in New York, they live in a sanctuary city and they're still getting got by the feds. It's crazy. It's a rough time. What rights are they taking away in the U.S.? It's arguable. This isn't a super political stream, so I'm not gonna like dig too far into it. Luckily, Hardcode is explaining a lot of it, but essentially they're denying due process rights to immigrants. And you know, there's a lot of reasons why they say they can do that. For one thing, if you're not like a citizen, you're not afforded the same rights. But they're really pushing the limit. Like, they're calling people terrorists who were just happened to be at like a school protest. Like, it's wild. It's wild the way we just bandy the term around. Because, I mean, I grew up in the shadow of 9/11, back when, like, there were serious concerns about, you know, terrorists and, like, calling people terrorists. And, like, people could tell back then, even in, like, the fallout from 9/11, that there were going to be problems in the future about just being willing to call pretty much anyone a terrorist. And now we're here. Now we're here, where international students are being labeled terrorists just because they happen to live on the same, like, in the same neighborhood where there was a like a school protest against, you know, the violation of international law. And now they're being roped in and, you know, compared to terrorists. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I hope Spud Customs gets some recognition for what it's doing to kind of draw attention to this stuff. Hard-coded. It's crazy. It's a crazy time. Crazy time to be alive. What was that? You know how there's like an ancient curse that people would say? I don't know how, like, anachronistic it is or whatever, or, like, maybe not anachronistic is the right word. Apocryphal. I don't know how apocryphal this is, but there's, like, that old-timey curse, which is, like, may you live in interesting times. And that's such a wild curse to tell someone. Like, that's such a wild way to curse someone. Like, may you live in interesting times. Like, it's a bad thing to live in interesting times. And I always thought that was crazy, but now I live in interesting times, and now I'm like, oh, I get it. Rhiannon says, it's wild out here, but fascism has been defeated before, and it will be again someday. That's true. That's true. Solidarity. And to quote The Rings of Power season 2, it's not power that darkness fears, it's the light. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah. It's crazy. This is crazy times. All right. So we're trying to update this function to work with a new version of our construction grid. So I'm just trying to address some of the allocation issues we're seeing. So allocating a U-short pack data, we could do this a different way. How does it feel about doing this here? It's also complaining about this, right? 11 megabytes, yeah. So we need a different way to allocate that pack data. Oh, we had to write this differently. So we need to pass in layers and levels. This shouldn't be a constant. This is something we should pass in so that we can reuse this function in multiple places. Because we're doing the same exact thing here. I don't even know what the difference is here. We're just taking out the layers for now because we didn't have layers before, but now we have layers. All right, we're gonna rewrite this a little bit. So this is called update tilemap data entirely. We're gonna rewrite this a little bit. We'll keep using an update construction grid because it's probably gonna be easier. So grid tiles, this needs to be a member variable. Calls, lines. I want to call it lines, not grids, I think. Call it, maybe I'll call it grids. Yeah, maybe I'll call it lines. Private, read-only, dictionary. Dictionary. Vector 4i. Lol, how was season 2? It's awful as season 1. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It had moments. It had some things that I thought were interesting. But it's terrible. Generally. Grid tiles, list. Oh, you're just a list? Grid tiles, add. How are we doing this up here? Oh, we have a vector 4i tiles dictionary. How do I want to do this? I'm more stoked for Andor. I just rewatched season 1, getting ready for season 2. So why is this a list and not a dictionary? For each coords in grid margin. Oh, it's because of how I'm building this. It doesn't actually need to be. It can just be a list. Okay, let's do that then. Let's say private read only list tile grid tiles. And so everywhere we write tiles, grid tiles, we're gonna have grid grid tiles dot clear. All right, level counts is a new int. Levels grid tiles dot clear for coords and grid margin. So if grid tiles dot count is less than or equal to 0, return. Oh, I see. Grid tiles dot add. Okay, so that should address that should address the bulk of our allocation problem. Oh, we got a spam bot. Load the photon torpedoes. Blast him. Got him. Pew, pew, pew. Direct hit. Yep. We smoked him. That's fun. That's always fun. All right, so I have to rewrite this now. Or don't I? Can I just do... I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to copy this and write a new version of it that's generic so that we can actually reuse this. Okay. Copy. I don't know what I did before, but it was definitely not copy. There we go. All right, so here's the old one. Just hold on to it for a minute. Okay, so now, this one we're going to say, so we've got our target node, we've got our counts. What we want is integer layers, integer levels. So this way we can support a different number of layers and levels. Constant initializer. Oh, well, who cares? Instant headers. All right, so we're swapping all of this. Let's actually get rid of these constants. Actually, let's hold on to them for now, but let's just sub them out here. What we should do is we should check the target node, ask what the target node's level count. And then what do we do from there? Level count, level nodes dot size. Do we have a layer count? We should get a layer count. Variable layer count. So when we're doing the grandchild check, we only really need to do this once, huh? Let's say layer count. Well, here we can say, so if level count is level nodes.size, layer count is level layers dot size divided by level count. And that's the layer count. Okay, so now we should be able to scrutinize this and get this. And it doesn't need to be hard-coded as much. So I'm just going to go through and replace all these constants. I love seeing the red. This is such a nice red. It's got like a hint of like a violet in it or something. All right, now we replace the layers. This bytes per tile. This is static. This can be static. Or constant, I guess, technically. Hard-coded, it doesn't need to be... Am I an anti-pattern to you? Doesn't need to be me as much. What? I don't know. I don't know hard-coded. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just trying to keep the mic hot. I'm trying to keep comms hot. Gotta keep the comms hot. Gotta keep the microphone juices flowing. All right. Razzing over hard coding. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, hard coding, heart coding. That's too good. You're too funny. Nice. Oh, yeah, yeah. The contextless hard coding is so brutal. Index plus equal counts I times 6 plus 1. It's like, no. I mean, I know what the 6 are. It's these 6. It's the 6 properties of a tile. But still, that's like really bad. Oh god, you did that in your character generator for Spud Customs, and only yesterday came in and made it remotely understandable for your codev. Yeah, I'm my own codev, and I am constantly like last time I came in and rewrote this, there were a bunch of magic numbers. I don't think I had defined bytes per tile or bytes per layer. I think I had just 12 and 2 everywhere, and I'm like, what? What's worse is if instead of writing 12 plus 2, you write like 14 or something, and then you're just like, where'd you get that number from? Where did that come from? Yeah, we do eventually want to try doing the conversion the other way, where the byte array gets cast as a U-short span and then filled. This is what we do want to do long term. And then we keep the byte array around in like in the same kind of structure as we keep our component data or our dynamic buffers. Like we keep it in a memory structure that's associated with the world. So we aren't allocating this stuff all the time. We want to get away from this U-short allocation all the time. But that's fine. We don't need to worry about that right now. What we do need to do is go find the uses of this. Output pack tilemap data, target node. So you can just do the, no, not levels times layers, levels, layers. Oh, we don't even use this branch. I need to get rid of this branch of code here. This is the update changes incrementally. Yeah. We need this one. here. We should be more particular about this. We should rename this to be like grid layers, grid levels. We should distinguish them. We should also have private const int hull layers. Hull. Oh, that's really bad. I'm gonna put an underscore because that's impossible to read. There we go. Do a GD script style. So this is still 8, but this is 3. Anonymo239 underscore. Hello, hello. Welcome in. How's it going? All right. So now we have a bunch of red, which we need to address because I broke my constants. So right now, eventually I want us to unify how some of this works. Is this a layer or a level? This had to be levels, right? Yeah. So it's just be grid levels. What is FTL? FTL is short for FTL, faster than light. Why am I opening my Steam page? Or not Steam page, my Steam app. FTL, faster than light. This is a game by Subset Games. It's kind of a space simulator. It's kind of like a starship simulator where you have a little crew aboard a little ship. And your deal is managing the weapons and the systems and the crew activity. It's basically a little Star Trek simulator. And it's a roguelike, sort of. And so this is top-down 2D. And it's a classic. And so we're kind of trying to make our own version of it that is isometric 3D. Kind of doing our own kind of version of it. And that's what we're working on. We're working in Godot. Right now we're working on an editor tool for building the ships. How are you doing? All right. Oh, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. All right. Where's the rest of these errors? I have an error here, it says. I see a red one. Cannot resolve symbol layers. Levels. Where is this? Oh, it's down here. Here we go. Hull levels. Wait, did I write hull levels at the top or did I write grid levels? Oh, F. F. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I wrote. I must have written grid levels because I'm using it somewhere. I need to find this. Update Tom app data entirely. Yeah, it's not grid levels, it's hull levels. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Anonymo. Instrumental only music, please. Thank you. Thank you, Pretzel. What brings you around, Anonymo? Are you a Godot dev or a game dev, or are you kind of just like hanging out in the this category? Love hearing. If people have projects or are working on anything, I love hearing about it. This is hull layers. Think we can get rid of this branch? No, probably need to fix some things with it. Yeah, here we go. All layers. Right now we have to distinguish between the hall and the grid, the game grid. Eventually, I would like to make this more ambiguous and usable in multiple contexts, but right now we just need to split the behavior just to make it manageable. All right. Where are the rest of these? Where are the compiler errors at? Here's one. All levels times all layers. All right, that's most of it. Now it's just down here. Okay, here we go. So now we switch to grid levels and grid layers. This is just going to be headers. Oh, we actually don't want grid levels. We want this to take integer levels and integer layers. Level counts. Oh, do these need to have layer counts now? I simplified this code because there was only one layer, but I think we need to change the way this works a little bit now, because now there are multiple layers. So when we look up at the top here, we go find this up here, not this, way up here. We look at this, do it per layer. Where do we start? Where do we do the count? Where do we count these? I guess we count after we call, which makes sense. I really hate my auto tiling code. Do we only do the counting here in the output? That can't be right. Integer counts. Counts. Here we go. Counts. Key, Z. Okay, so it's a single array. It's a collapsed, like, dimensional array kind of thing. Okay. How does that affect this? Level counts. Oh, this is the count per level. That's fine. So for each coordinate in the non-overlapping grid bounds, Atlas chord. So if chords.x is equal to gridmin.x. So here's the fun part. Here's where we need to map the position of the block onto an Atlas coordinate in the tile map. And this is changing. This is like very different. We're changing significantly this part of the process. Also, this is probably, all of this should be something else now. This should be, instead of doing it this way, this should be a call to this function up here. It should be a call to output pack tile map data. So what do we do here? We just collect the counts. We send the target node with the counts and the level information. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to say Level counts coords.z++. Okay, that's easy. So that's the count information. So what we're gonna do, so grid tiles.count is less than 0, return. Do I have that check? This is one of those things where it's like, I wish I just did this the same way. I wish I just treated the auto tiler for the actual constructed tiles and these debug kind of like, not debug, but these like UI, more like not UI either. We're basically handling the selection boxes and stuff like that. Like the bounding boxes and selection boxes, which are just these, they're just wireframe boxes. But we're using the auto tiler to draw them because it makes sense. Because most of what the auto tiler is concerned with doing is handling outlines, and these boxes are literally just outlines. But the previous way I did this was very different. And this way is different enough that I need to be careful here. Okay, so where are we doing the counting? So this counts. Counts key.z times whole layers plus key.w. Okay, so this is a per layer count. It's not just per level. It's each layer has its own count. For I equals 0, I is less than levels times layers, I plus plus. Perfect. Okay. All right, so when we get here, instead of this whole thing, this is also a script I want to just comment out and then make my own version of it. All right, so our version of this takes the levels and the layers. Level counts is not, so it's this just needs to become counts. Counts equals new int levels times layers. There we go. So this is going to be totally different. So this needs to, so instead of 1 for each here, we need to do the per layer for each. Or we could, what we could do is we could get this list and then iterate through it 3 times. That's probably better. So what we could do is we could say list vector 3i coords equals this grid margin dot get non-overlapping grid bounds. We need that. This margin thing that we were doing before, we don't need to do this anymore. We're actually going to stop doing this. Wow, we're actually pretty much rewriting this whole thing. Okay. All right. We're really fundamentally changing this whole way. I really try to avoid doing this as much as possible, these like really truly breaking changes, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes you just gotta go in there and just rip the guts out of a piece of code and just rewrite it. And is it messy? Yes. Is it worth it? Also yes. All right, so instead of this whole thing, we're just gonna have a call here. I don't know about this grid tiles.count is less than or equals 0 thing. I don't think we want to do that. I think we want to just straight up say out, put pack tile map data, target node. Yeah, this, exactly this. So we're offloading that. All right, so this is all we had to do before to figure this out. Very simple. Not the way we're going to do it going forward. Can we do all 3 layers in one go? Instead of having to loop through this 3 times. It would certainly be easiest. So what this is doing is it's saying... Oh, I know exactly what this is doing. So we actually need the auto-tiling logic from here. We actually need to pull the Atlas chord logic from up here. Which we can do. Because it's this. This is the logic that we want, is like... Here we do it in multiple steps, though, based on the blocking. We don't actually need to do blocking. We're actually operating on an AABB itself. Wonder if there's an easier way to do this, since we're just taking an AABB and drawing the outlines around it. Wonder if there's a way to do this that's less iterative. The way we were doing it before is we were generating a box that was bigger than the box that we needed, and then we were only going over the coordinates that fit in that bigger box, but not the smaller box. So we were basically like iterating over a shell on the outside of this AABB. But that's like kind of gross. It should be easier to just iterate from minimum to maximum. Is it easier to just iterate through the full AABB rather than generating this list of non-overlapping bounds? There's less allocation if we just iterate through. Is there anything I need to do? This is one of those, like, I wish I was better at geometry things. Because, like, all I really want to do is iterate around the outlines of a cube. And I wonder if there's a way to take the minimum and the maximum coordinates and then just work my way through that. I could probably say, here are the minimum coordinates, iterate from minimum to max for x, iterate from minimum to max to y, and then iterate from minimum to max for z. And then do the same thing for the maximum coordinate. Iterate from maximum to min then. Will that give us all? That would give us all 6. Would that give us enough coverage? Would that actually cover every outline if I just did that? If I just iterated each component of each of the 2 coordinates that define our AABB? I think that would. We're missing a couple. No, we're not. We're not missing any. We're missing a couple. Let me think about this. Hold that thought. I have to let someone in the building. Be right back. All right. Well, lunch plans need to be made. I am stuck a little bit on this, but I think I see a way forward where we can take the 2 defining coordinates of the AABB and use that to just go across the outlines along the edges. And I think I can just have a real easy edge line drawer that way. I just need to iterate through that. Let me make a note of that here. And we just iterate from the minimum and maximum coordinates in the AABB to trace the outlines of the box. I think that's the direction we want to go. I think we're going to pick this up tomorrow. Sorry, it's kind of a short one. But like I said, we have Ludum Dare this weekend, so we're going to do some marathon streaming. So I just got to take it easy during the week so we have enough energy and time to really go hard into Ludum Dare, which is what we do. So unfortunately, I need to wrap it up now, but we'll pick this up tomorrow. I hope I can finish this tomorrow because I really want Thursday to be like a Ludum Dare prep day. That's my goal. So I think we can do it. We set up all the groundwork. We laid all the groundwork. All we really need to do is just get the tile system itself updating the tiles correctly. I think that's doable tomorrow. Thanks, Shenanigans. I hope you have a good one as well. Yeah, I'm going to keep it short here. I appreciate you all for watching. And hopefully I'll see you, see you tomorrow, Rihanna Journey. Exactly. Bye.